Greetings everybody, we are in Las Vegas at CES and we're talking about one of the mega trends, the industrial AI. With us is Dale Costy of Siemens. Welcome, Dale.
Thank you.
Now, one of your recent talks referenced David Goggins, the idea of the 40% wall. Where do you see the industrial leaders hitting that wall today with AI projects, and what's the second win they're missing?
Yeah, it's a great question. And it's a real thing. Producers are constantly inundated with issues to make sure they're producing product high quality, in the budget required to do that, hitting the throughput rates they need to hit, dealing with worker issues on the shop floor. Very complicated. And there's this promise of all this amazing technology, but how are they going to get advantages of it? One of the most important things that we need to do is make sure that we understand the data contextualization of the shop floor. Because before we can get the benefits of AI and what it's going to bring to the shop floor, we need to have that proper contextualization, because that's going to unleash amazing power and insight into what's happening. And I think the important thing to make sure is we need to bring these technologies into the brownfield environment. Existing facilities, not ripping everything out, but bringing that digital technology there and getting some benefits focused on solving some real problems manufacturers have today.
Got it, Dale. Now, you've touched on something that, so again, data contextualization, got the point there. Now, IT and OT is discussed in very technical terms, right? It always takes leadership aligning the OT side with the IT side, with the CIO. What's the one KPI that the CIO and the OT leader should agree on? What's we've seen the successful companies taking that?
Yeah, here's what I would say about that. I've been involved in a lot of technical software-based, automation-based projects over the years. One of the most important things that we need to transition to, especially in this acceleration of AI capabilities, is we really have to hone in and focus on what is that business outcome we're attacking. Is it throughput? Is it quality? Exactly what area are we going to attack? So if we start to do, like we just talked about, contextualization, how can I drive that benefit to the actual production line manager in a real-time basis? And so I think this is a huge opportunity. I do think it's important to have that handshake between IT and business in this case, because IT has a lot of amazing knowledge of cybersecurity, system level performance, and these things are all going to be, they have to be factored, because performance on the shop floor, it's response time that is very fast.
And we'll double click on that, but I wanted to just a little bit zero in on something you referenced, which is outcomes. How far are we from vendors changing their model to help their end user with outcome-based type of production?
I think there are companies that have been addressing that for a while. I think it's a viable option. I do think it's bigger than that though, because we need to constantly be evolving the business. And the fact is, to get to where we need to go, there's some foundational work that's going to happen. But we always have to do it with the outcome in mind. So we need to build up some foundational capability as we're focused on the outcome, because it's not one outcome as the goal. The goal is, just like all manufacturers fully understand, the goal is continuous improvement.
Right.
And how do we use technology as our partner in that? And I think that's the important differentiator.
Got it. Now, Siemens talks about adaptive system. At a leadership level, how do you know your organization has crossed that line from automated to truly adaptive?
I would say this. The idea of having intelligence at a machine level is something that we've made great progress on. It really comes down to what kind of insights do we have in production relative to the specific product configuration. Consumers are going to demand very personalized products. When we get to the state of adaptive, manufacturing needs to adapt to all those consumer changes and what they want from a very specialized product. And adaptive systems go beyond that. Where manufacturers are constantly dealing with workforce disruption, maybe quality or throughput issues. How can those machines adapt based on the factors that are changing on a real-time basis in the shop floor? Can we have the intelligence in our machines for machine-to-machine communication to really drive an adaptive system?
Got it. Now, we talked a little bit about digital twins earlier, so it's moving from simulation to orchestration. operational orchestration. What will a digital twin be capable in, let's say, a couple of years from now, 2028, that the market doesn't yet realize it needs?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of strong capability on digital twin, but as we increase our ability on compute power, the cost goes down. It's the number of simulations we can run that I think becomes the real driver of benefit, and it's the speed in which we can run them. Now, I would tell you where we're going to get tremendous gain is when we truly capture a digital twin of production capabilities, and we really have that side-by-side model, and it becomes embedded in the shop floor operations. Now those simulations can be processed on the edge at the point of data collection. So as I'm creating data on every process I'm running, I can be validating that right on the digital twin in a real-time basis. That has tremendous benefit for us.
Got it, thank you. Is there one industry that you see that's going to move the needle faster than the other ones?
That's hard to say. There's a lot of industries working on this. There are companies that are very forward-thinking that we're engaged with that I think are super exciting. I definitely see a lot of activity in CPG, but we're seeing it across the board in multiple industries.
Got it. Now, Siemens was customer zero for its own digital industry suite. Looking ahead, a couple of years from now, what will Siemens need to become customer zero for next, and what market forces driving the necessity?
I think Siemens. We hear about AI factory. We hear about AI driven factories. That is an area that we are leaning in heavily to really understand. I'll go back to data contextualization, but really understand the DNA of processes on the shop floor. How do they react with one another, and how do we get this factory really understanding the data it's creating on a real-time basis? The lag that we have today is something we need to address quickly. And there's a lot of work going on with data lake and algorithms on data lake and applying AI, but what you can do at the spot of data acquisition has huge potential benefits, and that's where Siemens is going to have to lean in its own factories.
Got it. Thank you so much for the insights.
Thank you.
If you're in the audience, feel free to leverage the hashtag you see on the screen, and we'll get Dale and his team to follow up.
Excellent. Thank you.